Good morning and welcome back to the vlog. It is so good to have you here. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for all your messages and love and comments on the last episode. I clearly love my life and I love sharing my life, and I always have actually. I was at something yesterday where I bumped into people that I haven't seen in a long time, and I was quite taken aback by the number of people that I hadn't really realised that have followed my journey and are following my life and the content that I'm creating. And I feel really grateful that people get something from it. Like, people will message and say, like, I am doing this because of something you said, or I feel this way, or you've helped me reframe this. Like, that's literally why I do this. But I've always felt compelled to share. You know, I started blogging years ago, and I'm talking old school WordPress, like writing a blog every week. And I love to write, and I still love to write. But the path that I'm on makes so much sense to me. Like, I feel like I was always on this path anyway. And it's just been like a shifting of puzzle pieces to unlock, you know, each chapter. And that's definitely how I think about it. So I love doing what I do, and I love that content creation, YouTube, Instagram, I love that is such a big part of my job now, and I think of it as such. You know, I carve out time and a schedule, and it is a part of my job, and I'm so glad, and I'm excited about where it's going to take me, but take us on this journey together, because I totally believe that, like, a rising tide lifts all boats. And so I want to always give, not back, but like take the lessons, take the learnings, share my journey, so that if you guys have hopes and dreams and ambitions and visions for the life that you want to cultivate, that I can play a part in you feeling energized and like driven to like just go get it, go do the thing. And a theme that's been running across my life for the last couple of years, but especially this year, I am fully in my keynote speaker era, and I have another speaking opportunity coming up on Friday, and then another one next Wednesday. I obviously had the professional beauty one on Monday, last Monday. So, and I am not a copy paste kind of girl. Like, that is not my vibe. Of course, there's commonality in the theme and the subject matter, but never like, well, I'll just speak about that again, or I'll do it in that way. I always think about the audience who's in the room, what's the right tone, what's the lasting impact and legacy that I want to leave. Like, what are the calls to action? What is the size of the room? And then what is the appropriate level of interactivity, right? Because if it's a room of 500, that's very different from a room of 20. But both very important to me. So yes, I'm super psyched. So I've had a great morning. I've just had a session with two of my clients. I don't think I've spoke about this, but something that I have added into my client service offering is couples coaching. And I am working with an incredible couple who run a business together. And I love working with them. They are amazing. They are amazing. And in the same way that coaching one-on-one can help you get clarity on your goals, your visions, what's blocking you, what's stopping you, what's holding you back, what limiting beliefs are we allowing to determine our course of action to proceed. Super important to be having those types of conversations with your business partner and your life partner. And often for some people that is one and the same. And so I have really loved building up this offering of couples coaching to help and support people who are building amazing businesses together. And yeah, it's amazing. So I've had that this morning. I went out very early doors to get my steps, to at least make a dent in my steps for the day. That is far from finished business, but I'm feeling really good. So I am about to make a cup of tea, and I'm going to get my head into my laptop for, I have a meeting at 12 noon, and I have loads of ideas about things that I want to share with my client. So I'm going to get my head into my laptop and prepare for that. And yeah, it's going to be a great week. It's very clearly, last week was London and there was a lot going on, and I'm now in the last 2.5 weeks of 12-week peak, and I want to maximize every day, every moment, because I want to get to that photo shoot on the 23rd and know that I've done the most. And already there's been, when I reflect back and assess my progress and performance, there's things like, oh, if I had known that 12 weeks ago, I maybe would have made that different, or I would have done that. But I know in my heart of heart that I have adhered to this to the most that I possibly could. I feel like High Rocks knocked me back a little bit, and so I felt like I had a bit of a slow start. And this is kind of my how things happen for me, but I find my stride as I get into things. And that's definitely happened with this program. So yeah, definitely doing the most. My cardio has been upped a little bit. And I need to find a Stairmaster. So that's going to be this week's plan. I can't just keep smashing out cardio on the bike. I need to go where a Stairmaster lives. So that's definitely on the agenda this week. And I am in Edinburgh tomorrow, and then driving to Perth on Friday. Saturday I have a top up of my aesthetics, if you know you know, which I'm always excited for. And then Sunday Gary and I are going to go to the 12-week peak meetup, which is like an upper bod training session. And we're going very early because, Gary's otherwise occupied on Sunday. There's a sporting event. So it's going to be a great rest of week, loads going on, and feeling just so excited, so grateful, so happy. And yeah, I was watching last week's episode because of course I get high on my own supply. And it is so obvious to me how happy I am, and people comment on it as well. And that is just such a nice thing to be spreading and sharing in this world. More happiness. Happiness for everyone. Good morning. How are we? So, it is now Thursday. We are in sunny Edinburgh, which is one of my most favourite places to be. I moved here it wasn't my first postgraduate job, but it sort of feels like the job that changed everything, like the trajectory of my life, certainly my career, and it really unlocked the next level of my ambition. And I think part of the reason for that actually was the people that were around me. I all of a sudden found myself, and I will use the word elevated because that's how it felt, up into places and spaces where people were really gunning for excellence and creating change, and just a completely different standard and expectation in terms of high performance work culture. And I loved it, literally like a moth to the flame. Met some phenomenal people, people who were like my boss at the time, my bosses actually, Jana and Jodie, and then the partners that we worked for, loads of amazing directors as well. Just the team were phenomenal. I actually met some people whilst during that, and it's funny because it feels like such a poignant moment in my life and in my career, but it was actually quite short. So I moved to Corstorphine. I lived with one of my absolute best friends, longest friendship, my friend Polly, and we got this amazing flat. And I just like started hustling, just worked my socks off, learned a huge amount. It definitely felt like a roller coaster, and I was just like white knuckling. I was just holding on, but learning, put my hand up for every project, doing the most, being in, like first one in the morning, last one to leave, more than happy to work on the weekends. Like I just knew it was a real opportunity to elevate myself and like grow and push and learn and strive and accomplish. And I still think of it as some of the happiest years of my life. Like I loved it. And then when I was headhunted, so that was when I worked at Grant Thornton, and then when I was headhunted by PwC, I felt such a conflict because I loved what I was doing. I wasn't looking for a new job. I was truly living like such a phenomenal life. And I actually consulted with the partners at Grant Thornton before I accepted the offer, because I genuinely appreciated their honest opinion on what was the right strategic move for me. And of course, all of them being so wonderful said, like, your growth here within the Scotland practice is going to be limited. There's only so many slots. It's a smaller team, smaller budgets. So your growth is going to be limited. Whereas if you jump over to a firm like PwC, you can skyrocket. And so I took it with a heavy heart. I was distraught leaving Grant Thornton. Honestly, so much love for everybody that I met there. I wish we could do like a big GT reunion. That would be amazing. And then I went to PwC, and it was so different. It was like equally amazing. And I had 10 years there and I loved it. And again, leaving PwC to go to EY when I was headhunted to go into that role. Yeah, but that's growth. That's growth. You can't get comfortable. Enjoy it for what it is. Take all the learnings, take all the friendships and the great moments. And oh, there's a car alarm or a car beeping. Take all the great moments and take them into your next chapter, your next adventure, your next role. So yeah, Edinburgh is very special to me. I loved my time here. And actually, I only left Edinburgh because of like circumstances. The rent in the flat kept going up and my lifestyle had kind of moved. I was in a really serious relationship. We were talking about like, well, where do we want to be based? And there was like an opportunity popped up. And obviously when you're in a relationship, you also have to compromise. And so that's what I done, and I left Edinburgh, and I was so heavy hearted to leave. Like I loved it. But then I was actually only back in like South Lanarkshire for a short amount of time, and then Hong Kong came along. And then yeah. But I have a client meeting today. I'm very excited about it. I love getting together with my clients in person. That is a very important strategic priority for me at the moment, is FaceTime with my clients. Although they are spread around the globe. So I do the best I can. And that would be great. Like a Sheryl Findlay Coaching World Tour. Guys, let's do that. And then I'll book in little speaking slots around different cities and we can all gather together. How cool would that be? So yeah, feeling good. I have to be honest though, your girl was struggling last night because of my schedule. So like I just mentioned, my client base is international. So because of global time zones, sometimes that means I've got calls at like 6:30 in the morning, 7 a.m. in the morning, etc. I am a morning person, as you can tell. And so I try and do the thing that is the hardest, I try and do it first. And that more often than not is going to be like your workout. So I try and get that done first when I am like maximum energy. I've just had breakfast, often caffeine. So I try and get that done. And then the rest of the day, like you're set up. But on days where that is not, like it's just not physically possible sometimes, it means we have to go to the gym at night time. Now, I'm used to training at night time because obviously I go and do classes and extreme fit and train with the team and maybe out a run. That's a very different thing from like a big heavy weight session. And I was like seriously questioning my life choices last night. But we got it done because that's what winners do. Winners win. And but I texted my coach and I was like, I'm really going to need your help for the next couple of weeks because I'm fatigued and I nearly cried in the gym. But it's a new day and we are going to go get it. We're going to go make good things happen, keep our head down, stay focused, do the things we need to do. And I have like 5 high priority items on my list for today, and that starts with a phenomenal meeting with one of my clients. So I'm going to get to it, and I will see you all soon. Is now Friday, and we are in sunny Perth. My Keynote world tour continues, all the way from the Channel Islands to London to, where was I last week? Glasgow to Perth, and then to Edinburgh next week. So I had been asked to lead a session on holistic wellness and sustainable success, well that's what I called it, at the university in Perth for a group of student teachers, and it was amazing. I really like, so obviously I like when there's like a big audience and I can impact as many people as possible, and like that's also like, but that's like, well it's 2 things. I was going to say it's a bit for my ego, like, oh I stood on a stage in front of 500 people. But it's not actually, that's highly unfair of me to me. It's so I can impact as many people as possible, right? That's why I do this. It's, of course, it's part of my business model. I am a paid speaker. That's part of how I generate revenue. It's a business, and revenue matters actually. It's at the center of a business. That's why a business exists. But it's also about purpose, and it's about impact, and also part of like, you know, my promotional marketing strategy and getting my brand out there, and but getting invited to do things like this, and I was asked to do it months and months and months ago, and I immediately put it in my calendar, and I was like, I'm doing that. Like, I know it's a long drive, and I know it'll take like a whole Friday out, but it is incumbent upon me to share what I have learned with those who are just forming their adult life, who are thinking about their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, their aspirations, thinking about what's possible for them or not possible for them. I am there to tell them that it is all possible for them, and that the universe isn't on a budget, and so ask for more. But yes, you need to put in the work, you need to take care of yourself, and so yeah, it spoke them through all my content, and it was super well received. Lovely group, lots of nice shares around the room, great conversations afterwards, like just incredible. And the drive up was beautiful. I'm just going to drive back now. Just love it. I love my job. I love getting the chance to put some of the adversity and the hardships and the battles that I have like fought tooth and nail but fucking won. I get to take all the insights and the lessons and the information and the knowledge and help others hopefully have to not fight that same battle, or a lesser battle, or certainly maybe not be as bruised on the other side of it as what I was. I am no longer. Life is quite magnificent. What a week it has been. I left you yesterday after I had been to the University of Highlands and Islands in Perth, and oh gosh, honestly, I drove home feeling so grateful and reflective of just everything. Like, I can't believe, and I definitely had a moment, I only left full-time employment, like my corporate role, and I shouldn't even say full-time employment because I'm working more than full-time, trust me. But like my corporate career, I left at the beginning of November, so it's not that long. And the difference in terms of like how I spend my time, but also the opportunities and the work, because that, what I done yesterday, that is part of my business model, that's part of how I work. But now my work is like creating an impact in communities and societies and places and spaces where they want me to go and talk about life skills that I might have insight or knowledge, or that I might have mastered, or even just open up a conversation and a dialogue around some of these topics. And the teacher, the lecturer who was in the room with us yesterday had reached out to say like the room has been like buzzing about you and what we spoke about, and she was like, you've really been a bit of a catalyst for bringing everything that you covered like front and center. And so I'm just so delighted to hear that like that it went well and people found it valuable, and like I can't wait to keep doing more of that type of work. I feel deeply passionate about it. So yeah, and then I was also just thinking like, so I actually have a big birthday coming up, and when I was driving home yesterday, there has been some internal resistance. Like I've been a bit hesitant to make a plan to celebrate it, and I have a couple of friends that turn 40 around the same time as me. One is a little afterwards, and she already has like 4 or 5 super cool things planned, and I was like, you know what, good for you. And she's like, why are you holding back? Well, like, I'm not really sure. I think there's definitely a couple of things, but I also think like the last 10 years of this life of mine have been major, like absolutely major. I've accomplished so much. I've also faced a lot, and I think that's probably where some of the pushback for me is coming from. Like every day is a celebration anyway, because like I'm grateful that I'm here, right? So I'm like, I don't need a big party, I don't need a big anything. But actually, like, why not? Why shouldn't I celebrate the fact that I have completely, well, I've been through loads and I'm here to tell a story, and not only that, but like I am here telling the story, but my life is wonderful. Like I've never been happier, I've never felt better, I've never felt more like doing the things like business wise and hobby wise, and like with my partner. Gary's here, by the way.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Like literally it's as if everything just clicked into place, and I am beyond happy and grateful. So like, why not celebrate? And also there are, and I think this is perhaps part of it as well, but there are a huge number of people in my life now that are like new characters in this last decade, but I am so grateful for all the amazing friendships. I obviously, like I've moved a few times actually in the last 10 years, and I've had like stints internationally as well, but I've made some really amazing friendships within the last 10 years, in addition to friendships that I, you know, have had. So yeah, I'm definitely, and so I'm not only accepted, but I definitely want to mark it, and I've started thinking about what I might do, and I'm excited about it, which is nice. That feels like a better place to be than being like, oh, I think I'm just going to feel super, oh, we go that way. I think I'm going to feel super emotional about it, so I'll just lean out. It's fine if I feel any type of way, but I'm going to lean in. We don't lean out. But anyway, we are in Edinburgh. I am going to get my aesthetics chopped up because the 12-week peak photo shoot is looming, and I want to be looking super fresh and fly. I'm actually feeling really fresh today because I don't have any makeup on my face. I've got a little Amber Gambler in the car, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it, put it in there, didn't it?
It was Amber, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to go get aesthetics topped up. Gary and I have some business to talk through and work through and things like that. and then we're having a little family get together at my parents' house this evening because they have been on holiday, and it was my nephew's birthday last week, and so we haven't all seen each other, so we are going to do that. So I am going to wrap this episode up here. Guys, I have some major stuff going on next week, like major, and I'm so excited. It feels like such a full circle moment, something that's going on next week, and it also marks the not the end, but like a slight kind of winding back to normal Sheryl level busy, and instead of this like heightened, I knew there was going to be about a month where I had been booked for different things and I've committed to things and my like obligations, and I knew there was going to be like quite an intense period of time, but that's coming to a close as well. And as we finish up the 12-week peak, Gary and I have booked a holiday, and we are going to take some time out, some rest, and just some quality time together, and just enjoy life for a little while, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Can't wait to go, man.
Yeah, it'll be good, won't it? Yeah. So you might be able to tell that we're a little tired. The 12-week peak is definitely peaking. The energy is not necessarily peaking. Yeah, the peak's been and got. No, we'll peak at the end. At the end of the 12 weeks, we will be in peak physique.
Yeah.
Peak physique. But no, we're taking care of each other, I would say.
Very much so.
When one person's battery is at
0. Not even 10%.
-5. We normally have this thing that we're like, my body battery's here and mine's is here, right? So that person leans in, they're like, oh, this is what we're going to do for dinner, this is what, the decision making then lands with that person. But yeah, we're both kind of hovering around.
What shall we do? No one knows.
No one knows the answer. Like, you asked me a question about a protein yogurt this morning, and I was like, I don't know the answer.
That's right, I forgot about that. Do you want me to take this protein yogurt? Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
No one knows.
What do you think? No, it's fine. It's fine. It's great. So anyway, next week's going to be amazing. And then the following week is our last week peak. And last peak week, not week peak.
Oh my god.
This is top quality content, ladies and gentlemen. No.
You will see us back to our full regime in 2 weeks' time.
But we've got the photo shoot, and then we have the ball. So it's going to be amazing. And then we're literally going the day after the ball. We're going on holiday. So guys, it's like, I've planned it to perfection. I mean, of course I have. But no, next week is going to be mega, mega, mega. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram and are of the more fashion and apparel loving people amongst you, you remember the suit, the Nadine Marabi, the black that I wore for the video when I left corporate? It had the cross buttons on it, and it is one of,
that's wicked, man.
It's so amazing. Well, it's almost as if that suit has like a little sister. It's really exciting. So anyway, that's coming next week. So anyway, I hope you are all living your best life, and I hope you are all doing things that both challenge you and help you grow and evolve and become the next version of you. And remember that just because it's hard, it doesn't mean it's not worth it. Like, if it was easy, every single person would be doing it. And that's the same whether it comes to business, fitness, whatever your goals are. You're supposed to be working hard. Like, no one that has anything worth having, it doesn't come easy. So dig deep, do the things you know you need to do. Do not avoid it. Do not skirt around in the shadows of the things that you say you want. If you truly want them, go get them. And I will see you all next week.